Pittsburgh Steelers 2026 quarterback targets. Will Pitt sign trade for another vet or turn to a rookie quarterback? What's up, Steelers Nation? Today we are diving deep into one of the biggest storylines that's going to dominate Pittsburgh football talk for the next year and a half. Who will be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2026? Now that Aaron Rodgers is in the black and gold, but only on what looks like a one-year rental, it's time to look past 2025 and ask the big question. Do the Steelers go all in on a rookie quarterback next year, or will they once again dip into the veteran market to fill the most important position on the field? Let's be honest. The Aaron Rodgers experiment is exciting, sure. It's a headline grabber. It brings spotlight and experience to a team that's had instability at quarterback ever since Ben Roethlisberger retired. But let's not kid ourselves. Rodgers is turning 42. This is very likely the final chapter in his legendary career. He's here to serve one purpose: bridge the gap and keep this team competitive while the front office plans for the future. And that future, folks, could very well be on the college football fields right now. There's no question that the Steelers are already laying the groundwork to make a move in the 2026 NFL Draft. Insiders have been whispering for months that this front office, led by Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin, is strategically positioning itself for a major play. That means accumulating draft capital, scouting college prospects early, and keeping options open if they want to trade up. This isn't about putting a Band-Aid on the position anymore. This is about finding the next franchise guy, the next Roethlisberger, a leader who can define the next decade of Steelers football. Now, before we get to those exciting young college prospects, we have to be honest about the current in-house options. Mason Rudolph has hung around the organization for years, and credit to him, he's been a solid backup, even stepping up when needed. But let's face it, he's not the future. He's a game manager, a fill-in, not someone who's going to elevate your team deep into January. Then there's Will Howard, a developmental pick out of college who's drawn some attention during mini camps and preseason. The kid's got size, mobility, and some flashes of decision-making under pressure. But it's a long shot. He hasn't faced real NFL defenses consistently, and you don't hand over the reins of a franchise like Pittsburgh to a guy who hasn't proven himself on Sundays. He's a lottery ticket, not a blueprint. And rounding out the depth chart is Skylar Thompson, formerly of the Dolphins, who joined the team more recently. Again, useful as a backup or emergency option, but nobody's calling him a long-term starter. So if we're being real here, the quarterback who leads this team in 2026 probably isn't even on the roster right now. That means we got two paths in front of us. Either the Steelers go after another veteran via trade or free agency, or they make their move in the draft. Let's talk veterans first. It's tempting. You've got guys who know the league, guys who've led teams, who know how to run an NFL offense. But is that the right call for this franchise right now? If you look around the league, options like Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, or even someone like Ryan Tannehill could be available depending on how their 2025 seasons play out. But again, these guys are stopgaps. They're expensive. They aren't going to grow with the core of this Steelers team, which is young, hungry, and built for the next 5 to 7 years. Do you really want to throw more cap space at another quarterback pushing his mid-30s? And if you want to talk dream scenarios, yes, names like Trevor Lawrence or Kyler Murray pop up in wild trade rumors. But let's be honest, that's not happening unless there's a complete collapse in Jacksonville or Arizona. The price tags would be astronomical, and Pittsburgh is traditionally a team that builds through the draft. They're not throwing 3 first-round picks at a trade when they can use that same capital to pick the exact quarterback they want and build from year one. Which brings us to the most exciting possibility, the 2026 NFL Draft. This draft class has some serious buzz. It may not be the quarterback gold rush that we saw in 2020 or 2023, but there are names to watch. And I mean closely. Let's start with the headline, Arch Manning. The name alone gets attention. He's a member of football royalty, the nephew of Peyton and Eli, and he's been under the spotlight since he was in high school. At Texas, he's shown flashes of that natural ability, the vision, the pocket awareness, the arm strength. It's all there. But there's still some uncertainty. Will he declare for 2026? Or will he take another year in college to polish his game? If he does come out, there's no doubt he'll be a top 5 pick, maybe even number 1 overall. If the Steelers want him, it would require a major trade-up unless they bottom out during the 2025 season. But Arch isn't the only option. You've got Cade Klubnik from Clemson, who has shown accuracy, poise, and leadership. He may not have the Manning brand, but he could be the more reliable NFL-ready choice by next year. Then there's Drew Allar from Penn State. Big arm, traditional pocket passer. He's built like a prototypical NFL quarterback and fits the Steelers' mold perfectly. Keep an eye on that one. especially since Penn State is right in the Steelers' backyard. They'll be watching every one of his games. Then there are the sleepers, guys like Garrett Nussmeier out of LSU, LaNorris Sellers from South Carolina, and Sam Levitt from Arizona State. All three bring different styles: athleticism, improvisation, deep ball accuracy. And all could rise up draft boards with strong final college seasons. Don't be surprised if one of these names starts dominating highlight reels and mock drafts as we get closer to next April. And let's not overlook Fernando Mendoza from Indiana. He may not be a household name yet, but some early draft boards have him as a mid-first round pick, possibly the kind of prospect Pittsburgh could grab without having to give up future draft assets. He's a smart player, good mechanics, and a sneaky dual threat option. That versatility is something Mike Tomlin has leaned into more in recent years. So how does all of this fit into Pittsburgh's bigger picture? Simple. The Steelers are playing a long game. By bringing in Rodgers, they keep the locker room competitive. They keep fans engaged. But behind the scenes, they're stacking chips. Draft picks, scouting reports, film breakdowns, all of it building toward 2026. The draft is actually being hosted in Pittsburgh that year. Can you imagine the scene if the Steelers make a bold move and pick their next franchise quarterback right there in front of the home crowd? It would be electric. And it might not even require a top 5 pick. If they can get someone like LaNorris Sellers, Mendoza, or Levitt between picks 10 to 20, they can hold on to key pieces and still get their guy. That's the strategy they're weighing right now. Be aggressive, but smart. As for the fans, Steelers Nation is restless. You can feel it. The team has been competitive, but they're tired of first-round exits and quarterback controversies. They want the next Big Ben. A leader. Someone who makes the offense dynamic again. Someone who gives this team a real shot to go toe-to-toe with the Mahomes and Burrows of the AFC. And frankly, it's time. The defense is championship caliber. The weapons on offense, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, Najee Harris, they're all entering their prime. What's missing? A quarterback who can lead this group for the next 8 to 10 years. So what happens next? First, all eyes will be on the 2025 season. How does Rodgers perform? Can he stay healthy? Does the team rally behind him and make a playoff push? And most importantly, how does the draft positioning shake out? If Pittsburgh ends up with a top 10 pick, the path becomes clear. If not, then the front office has to decide, do they package picks and move up? Or do they trust their scouts and find value where others might overlook it? Either way, buckle up, Steelers fans. The road to 2026 is going to be wild. There will be rumors, mock drafts, trade scenarios, and surprise names rising up the board. But one thing is certain. The Steelers are getting ready to make a move that will define the next decade of this franchise. So tell me what you think. Should the Steelers trade up for Arch Manning? Should they roll the dice on a rising name like Sellers or Mendoza? Or are you still holding out hope for a big veteran splash? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss a single update as we count down to one of the most important off seasons in recent Steelers history. But trust me, we'll be back real soon with more Steelers content, rumors, and draft breakdowns. Stay loud, Steelers Nation, because the future is coming fast.